Okay, once again, this is Ian. It's the 29th of June, 2023. And the next question is I'm going to actually paraphrase this because it's a little bit jumbled in terms of the wording. But essentially, this person is asking what my recommendation is for improving response on outgoing email outreach for building his web design studio. So essentially, this person is asking two things. One, about my recommendation for email, like kind of blast software to do these automated kind of, business to business email outreach campaigns, and then what to actually write in the email itself to improve what appears to be relatively anemic conversions for his business currently. All right, so two things. Number one, I have no experience with those, kind of email automation, kind of blast, programs, or like Mailshake or whatever those, those products are. I don't use them. Blast is probably the inappropriate description for something like Mailshake, but I don't use those products, so I can't really comment on how to pick one or which one is the best or not. Two, I don't think it's necessary to use those sorts of, outreach, email software as a service products. What I've done historically is one of two things: either A, send the email out myself, send the emails out myself, and you can simply, get up in the morning if you work from home the way I do, you just like set a goal of how many emails that you're going to send to a very specific target market or ideal audience or quintessential client community, and have fun with it. And that's generally the approach that I've used in the past. Or you outsource it to a VA or a virtual assistant or someone in your entrepreneurial orbit, or essentially you're just writing the email and then giving it to that person to send out, from an email address, a Gmail address, let's say, that you, allocate for the project. The most important thing, if you want to get really great results on email outreach, it's not difficult. It's actually quite easy, and it tethers itself to this idea of human psychology more than actual marketing psychology. And the three key pieces for me, and this will work for you, I promise, is specificity, being complimentary, and lastly, being succinct. And that's often the biggest challenge for me is, keeping it short. Like, I tend to talk longer than I should, and that can bleed over into my writing as well. So I'll write more than I should. And the longer you make the email, the worse the response is going to be. But the two things, so if you just keep it short and you just, stick to that as a rule, and then you're very specific with respect to the thing that you're saying, to the person that you're reaching out to, and it's authentic. So you're not just bullshitting somebody. You're actually referencing something in the real world that they've done very specifically, and you're complimenting that thing. And then essentially you're going to tie those pieces together with some sort of irresistible offer. And I'll give you a perfect example of something that you could do that works wonderfully well. And this is why I recommend incorporating something like testimonials or reviews into an offer that you send out into the world. Because if you reference, let's say we're currently, our new book publishing project is called A Tiny Book About. And, one of the things that we're doing, in addition to writing our own books, is reaching out to other authors, right, with marketing services. So one of the easiest things that you can say to an author is reference their book. You can say, I just read your book, right? I mean, even if you didn't read the book, you can say, I just stumbled across your book and I read the first chapter. I mean, you can just download a free chapter pretty much out of, from any Amazon book, and then say, I really like the book. And I noticed you have 74 really great 5-star reviews. So you've done two things. You've specifically referenced a specific book, which they're going to be very, very excited and enthusiastic about. No matter how successful someone is in the world, if they've written something, they're insecure about the response it's going to get, right? So by dint of referencing the book, you can very simply, and complimenting it, and I've been on the other side of these emails, so I know what this feels like. it's flattering, right? So you feel good about that, or they feel good about that. And then you're referencing something that they also really care about, which is reviews. We all want more reviews for our books. And essentially you can tell them as an offer, here's a great way of curating, collecting all of your 5-star reviews and displaying them on the landing page you use for your book on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. You can, have all these on your website. You can have all these everywhere that you care about, that you show up in the world for your readers, your audience, etc., rather than having, these shitty sort of, Joe Blow loved my book, and like some 5-star little WordPress plugin or whatever. You can use software like testimonials and something like that to, there are other alternatives to that as well. There are other services that you can use in addition to just testimonials that also do the same thing, and that really are a empirically irresistible thing for an author who's got a landing page right now that doesn't have any of their reviews on it, for their book. And now all of a sudden it has all of the 5-star reviews that people are publishing on Amazon. And this works the same way if it's a doctor, and they want to show their health grades or ZocDoc reviews. If it's a local business or restaurant with Yelp reviews or Google reviews. If it's a social media influencer who's got like a ton of positive things said about them on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, etc. All of these things can be curated and then displayed in this very aesthetically appealing way for that particular person, on the web, using a combination of things that you can offer to them, right? Reviews, testimonials, plus, adding those to their website or adding them to a new website that you create for them. Like this person's trying to sell web design services using Card, the person who emailed me. So all of this is very, very common sense. I mean, it doesn't take a great leap of faith to think that, people who are writing books or are serving sushi or are doing construction or providing medical services or are therapists, that they want to actually share the nice things, lawyers, doctors, it doesn't matter, that people are saying about them. And rather than having to do that, toot their own horn on Facebook, or on Instagram or whatever, they actually can have a landing page where everyone can go look for themselves. So that's a great offer that incorporates those 3 components, or at least 2 of them. Specificity, because you're referencing, you have 96 reviews, 5-star reviews on Yelp for your, Italian restaurant. It references complimentary content. You're actually saying something nice about the book, the restaurant, the sushi, the dental work you had done, or that someone had done, etc. And then the succinctness, the shortness of it is up to you to actually do on your own. As you can tell, I recorded this audio with the intent of making it 5 minutes. It's now almost 9 minutes, so clearly I still fail a bit in keeping things short. Nonetheless, that's a great opportunity for anyone doing email outreach to incorporate those 3 elements, and I promise you, you will have your response rates will skyrocket. You don't need anything other than a Gmail account, an ideal audience, and an irresistible offer, and you're off to the races. Okie doke, we're going to continue doing these Q&As. I just added this new course to our community. You can check that out below where you can ask questions. I'll post some of these on YouTube. Other ones I will just leave in the community itself. And if you're in our group, you can ask me anything that you want, and I will give you an honest, direct, and hopefully helpful answer that will, help you succeed. Thanks so much. As always, I appreciate you listening. Thanks.